What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I want to go ahead and continue with this top 15 all-time greatest centers list. Just to do a brief recap, at number 15 I had Nikola Jokic. For those of you who think I always hate on the new school, I do think Jokic is going to end up being a top 10 all-time center. At number 14, I have the Chief Robert Parrish. At number 13, Bob McAdoo. Number 12, I had Wes Unseld. At number 11, I have Nate the Great Thurmond. This is one of my favorite centers. I think he's one of the more underrated centers. This guy was a beast, all right? He was unselfish. Offensively, he wasn't the greatest center. He wasn't the most efficient. He could score. But, scoring wasn't, I'd say he was an average scorer for his era. What he excelled at was defense, rebounding, especially interior defense, rebounding. I believe he was also an excellent screen setter. One of the best screen setters, if not the best screen setter of his era. I mean, and setting picks. I mean, the guy was, you can see that picture I put up there the other day. I think it was an anniversary of the Cleveland Cavaliers retiring his jersey. You see the picture, man. The guy was fucking ripped all the way into his mid-30s or late 30s. The guy was fucking ripped. Those players back then, man, were different, man. You know what I'm saying? They ate less than people do today. They got more exercise, and contrary to popular opinion, all these guys were not just sitting around smoking cigarettes with pot bellies. Don't listen to Nick Wright. Don't listen to that stupid idiot. But anyway, Nate Thurmond was overshadowed by other big men in his era as far as name recognition. Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell in the 1960s into the 1970s, guys like Willis Reed, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Chamberlain at first, then later on maybe the Big E, Elvin Hayes, Moses Malone. These guys tended to overshadow, well, even though Moses was in the ABA, but still, the point is, he was kind of overshadowed name recognition wise by other big men. But make no mistake about it, he was a beast. Defensively, some will tell you he was the best they ever faced. Wilt Chamberlain said that no other center gave him as many problems as Nate Thurmond on the defensive end. And this is a guy that went against the great Bill Russell. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said that no other center gave him as many problems as Nate Thurmond. Nate was strong as an ox for times in the NBA. He was, for certain tenures, he was probably the second strongest player in the league behind Wilt. And then later on behind only Artis Gilmore. The guy was cock-strong. He was a tremendous rebounder. And I believe he led the league in rebounding once. Let me make sure of that. Now, interestingly, no, he actually never did lead the league in rebounding. He never led the league in rebounding. But I believe he's one of four players. I gotta think about this. Yeah, he's one of four players to have a 20-20 season. That is, averaging 20 points and 20 rebounds in the same season. The only other guys to do that other than Nate Thurmond were Wilt Chamberlain, Bob Pettit, and Jerry Lucas. And that's rare company. For his career, Nate Thurmond averaged 15 points and 15 rebounds per game. But his peak years were from 1964 to 1974. And during that time period, Nate the Great averaged 18.6 points and a whopping 17.6 rebounds per contest, along with 2.9 assists and who knows how many blocks. They only started counting blocks by the 73-74 season. But Nate probably, if they counted blocks from the 40s onward, Nate probably would be the third leading shot blocker in the history of the NBA behind Wilt and Bill Russell. Probably be third. If not third, he'd be a close fourth behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But early on in his career, he was playing behind Wilt Chamberlain with the then San Francisco Warriors. Then Wilt, of course, was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. Nate Thurmond then began to play more minutes and became a full-time starter. And he was a force to be reckoned with in the NBA for many, many years. I want to go through his resume right quick. Of course, he played the prime of his career with the Warriors, the San Francisco, then ultimately the Golden State Warriors. Then he played one season with the Chicago Bulls, and then he played 2 seasons with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He went to, I believe, 1 NBA Finals with the Warriors back in 1967. And Nate Thurmond played excellent defense on Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt, I believe, had a subpar series, thanks much to the defensive efforts of Nate Thurmond. All right? But ultimately, they still won that series. The Philadelphia 76ers still won that series in 6 games. But anyway, Nate Thurmond was a 7-time NBA All-Star, 2-time NBA All-Defensive First-Team player, 3-time NBA All-Defensive Second-Teamer. He was on the NBA All-Rookie First Team in 1963-64. He's on the 50th and 75th anniversary teams as far as NBA is concerned. His number 42 is retired by both the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And just want to talk about this, about his career. He was drafted 3rd overall by the San Francisco Warriors in the 1963 NBA draft. I believe that's the first year that they played in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. In college, he played for Bowling Green from 1960 to 63. And during his rookie year, he averaged 7 points and 10.4 rebounds, largely playing behind Wilt. But then Wilt was traded to the Sixers the next season, and Thurmond blossomed into a all-star, then superstar player. And he was a tremendous player during those years, as I said before, with the San Francisco Warriors. As a matter of fact, Nate Thurmond was second to Wilt Chamberlain MVP balloting in the 1966-67 NBA season. That particular year, Nate Thurmond averaged 18.7 points and 21.3 rebounds per game. It was the next year, 1967-68, that Nate averaged 20.5 points and 22 rebounds per contest. Nate was in his prime amongst the leaders in minutes played. For his career, he averaged 37.2 minutes per contest. During his prime years, from 1964 to 1974, he averaged over 42 minutes played per contest. And as I said before, man, Nate was a feared player. I always have this theory. I'm not saying Nate was better than Bill Russell. Although he was a slightly better scorer. But I still feel, and he wasn't as great a passer as Bill Russell, but I still feel that if you switch Nate Thurmond with Bill Russell and put him on those Boston Celtics teams, I still think they win 8 or 9 championships. I still feel they'll win 8 or 9 championships. And I'm not saying that to knock Bill Russell. I'm saying that to show just how great that Boston Celtics team is, and it's a testament to the greatness of Nate Thurmond. But anyway, I'm trying to think of some other accolades, some other achievements. He's the first one, Nate Thurmond is the first player to officially record a quadruple double. Officially. It was on October 18th, 1974 against the Atlanta Hawks when he was a member of the Chicago Bulls. Actually, it was his debut as a Chicago Bull. There were highlights of this game that used to be on YouTube. I haven't seen them in some years because they try to suppress the players of the past. They don't want people knowing about what these guys did. But anyway, Nate Thurmond had a game where he had 22 points, 14 rebounds, 13 assists, and 12 block shots. So he became the first player to officially record a quadruple double. Though in actuality, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain more than likely achieved this feat more than a few times. All right, especially Wilt Chamberlain. Nate Thurmond also has the record for most rebounds in a quarter by a player. He had a phenomenal 18 rebounds in a quarter. And Nate Thurmond, just a tremendous player. After he retired, Thurmond returned to San Francisco and opened a restaurant called Big Nate's Barbecue. He sold the restaurant after 20 years while living in San Francisco with his wife, Marcy. And as of 2019, the home venue for the Golden State Warriors features a Big Nate's Barbecue kiosk with dishes that pay homage to his career. Unfortunately, Nate Thurmond is no longer with us. He passed away on July 16, 2016, 9 days away from his 75th birthday after a short battle with leukemia. During the 2016-17 season, the Warriors paid homage to Thurmond by patching his number to their jerseys. As far as the quadruple double is concerned, only 3 other players officially have registered quadruple doubles. They are Alvin Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, and David Robinson. He is one of only 5 players in NBA history to average at least 15 rebounds per game for their career. The other ones are Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Bob Pettit, and Jerry Lucas. As I said earlier, he's one of only 5 players to average at least 20. No, actually, I take that back. He's one of 4 players to average 20 rebounds and 20 points in the season. That being Wilt Chamberlain, Bob Pettit, Jerry Lucas, and Nate Thurmond. But he's one of 5 players to average at least 20 rebounds per game during the season, and that is Nate Thurmond, Jerry Lucas, Bob Pettit, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell. And he's one of 4 players in the history of the NBA to record 40 or more rebounds in a game. His career high is 42 rebounds versus the Detroit Pistons, November the 9th of 1965. The other ones being Bill Russell, whose career high is 51 rebounds. Wilt Chamberlain had a 55 rebound game. And Jerry Lucas, I'm not sure what his career high is. I think it might be 43 or something. I'm going to look it up. See if I can find it. can't find it off top. Can't find it. 40 in a game against the Sixers on February 29, 1964. Jerry Lucas registered 40 rebounds in the game. So these are your greatest rebounders ever, and Nate Thurmond is amongst them. So tell me what you guys think, man.